So I received the question about how do I weed out all the real estate guru courses that are now popular on YouTube and social media. And full disclaimer, I also have a mentorship program and coaching program, and let me kind of share you how I weed out the guru courses as well as why I implement my own course of mentorship to make sure that I didn't fall under that category, right? So as you know, you go on YouTube, even me, I pop on YouTube, I see a bunch of ads from a bunch of gurus telling you how to flip real estate, buy real estate, make wealth from real estate. It's easy, it's passive. And let me be honest, that's a marketing strategy. For me, as somebody who's owned 90 units of real estate, at one point I own 51 units right now, soon to be 52, once I get my single family home. But I will say, as somebody who's operated 90 units of real estate myself while working full time, it's not easy, it's not passive, it's actually a lot of work, right? Like, you can see all my videos where I talk about stress, burnout, depression. I went through all that, right, when I scaled to 90 units of real estate. So, it's not easy, right? So the clue number one is it's not easy, right? Like, I'll be honest, you follow my journey, I'm very transparent, it's not easy, and I guarantee you I own more real estate than most of these gurus do, right? Like, actually own. A lot of these gurus, they might syndicate, they might partner a lot, so they might have a lot number of units, but how much equity they own in the units might not be as much, right? So coming from somebody who owns and operates a lot of real estate, it's not easy, it's hard, and if they tell you it's easy, that's flag number one, red flag number one, right? It's not easy. And red flag number two is if they're encouraging you to, like, pull out a credit card to pay for their course, right? Like, for me, if you can't afford my mentorship, don't pay for it. I don't want you going to credit card debt or getting a personalized credit to do my course. You're not going to be in the right mindset to buy real estate. I know that, right? So, like, I'm not going to tell you to, like, hey, give me your credit card and charge me your card and go into more debt to learn about real estate, and you buy one deal and I'll pay for it. I'm not going to say that. That makes no sense. Rather, I'd say, hey, let's do this. Let's create a savings plan. Let's save you some money. Let's build up our emergency reserve, pay off some debts that you have. If you have student loans or credit card debt, pay that off first. That's why I have a course on paying off student debt. Like, pay off your debt first, build your emergency fund. And at that point, once you're ready, then you can maybe invest in a real estate course to buy real estate when you're ready, right? So, like, I'm not going to, if they start pressuring you to, like, buy their course, you got to take action now. Like, that's a red flag as well, right? Because, like, for me, I'm, like, very realistic. Like, if you're struggling to pay, like, let's say $5,000 for a course, I don't think you should be buying real estate, right? Especially if you're buying apartment complexes, like what I teach and what my course focuses on. These apartment complexes are like $1 million low end, right? And if you're putting 25% down, you need $250K and maybe another $100,000 to renovate it. That's $350K. Like, if you're struggling to pay $5,000 for a course, like, don't buy the course, because you're not going to be able to afford any multifamily, right? Unless you just want to buy the course so that you can get educated, so that you can invest in a syndicator, then maybe, right? But if you want to buy real estate yourself, then I'll be like, well, you don't have enough money yet. Like, maybe you got to start off in single family homes or focus on increasing your W-2, right? So, like, it has to be realistic. And that's why I'm sure, because I'm so honest, I lose so many people to my mentorship, because I just said it just doesn't make sense for you right now. Like, maybe in a year or 2 or 3, when your financial situation changes, it might make sense, right? So, like, if you, and I know, because I've bought one where, like, I bought this Amazon FBA store, automation store from this popular YouTuber, Ryan Panetta, and, like, literally, they're just like, yeah, you should max out your credit card, get this personal credit, and buy this Amazon store, because you'll make your money back easily. I'm like, yeah, it's a sign of a red flag. I was stupid enough to fall into it, because I had a large windfall of money at the time when I did my cash out refinance on my single family home. So I just like, all right, let me take this risk, and long and behold, I lost all my money, right? That was the fastest $35,000 I ever lost, right? So never fall into, if they pressure you to charge your card, stay away. If they think it's quick, easy money, stay away. Number 3 is, if that guru is constantly making unique courses and doing multiple things, right? You'll notice it. Like, okay, they create a course, mentorship on real estate. That doesn't do well. They do one on crypto trading, one on day trading, one on flipping houses, one on Amazon automation stores. They just keep on jumping and doing 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 different courses or businesses. Because what's happening is they're selling it, and then once people are buying it, they're realizing that the course is shitty, or the mentorship program is shitty, and so they're moving on to the next thing and trying to sell it to more people, right? Versus somebody who's always doing it consistently. Like for me, when I do my coaching and my mentorship, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life because I enjoy it, right? I coach pharmacists on my day job. I love to coach about real estate and personal finance. Right? I would do this for free almost. That's why I do these YouTube videos, right? 'Cause I just love talking about it. Like I love learning and sharing what I learned. So for me, it's like I would do it for the rest of my life. So that's why, like, if they're constantly jumping, stay away. And then another red flag is like you don't want to buy a course from somebody who's not actively doing what they're teaching, right? It's like imagine buying a course from like a guy who used to invest in apartment complexes 10 years ago, and maybe he bought like 100 units of apartments 10 years ago and he hasn't bought any since, right? And now he's making most of his money by selling courses and mentorship. Like you don't want to do that, right? You want to buy a course, join a mentorship where the main person, they're actively doing deals or managing their deals. Like me, I at one point am actively managing 90 units of real estate. I was renovating my 26 unit, renovating my 20 unit, renovating my mobile home park. I did a cash out refinance on my 20 unit. I stabilized my 2 apartment complex. I sold my mobile home park, right? I'm actively analyzing deals still just to stay current in the market, right? Because I want to know how the market is in Oklahoma, right? I'm helping other students with their deals. I'm actively involved, right? And I'm actively managing my real estate. I'm actively buying deals, analyzing deals. Like you don't want someone who's done it like 10 years ago. You want someone who's doing it today, because every year the market changes for the most part, right? So like for me, like still actively, heavily involved. It's just that for me, all my capital's trapped right now, but I'm still looking at deals, right? Like, I still get people calling me from letters I sent out like 2 years ago, right? And all those connections that I built. So, it's you want to join a mentorship or coaching program where they're still actively doing deals, right? If they're not actively doing deals, they're not actively doing it, then go away. Another thing too is make sure that they do what they preach, right? So like I said, a lot of people, if you go on YouTube, and this is the downside of YouTube, is like a lot of people are like saying how to make $1 million. I'm like, I don't care how to make $1 million. How did you make $1 million? Right? So you notice a lot of my videos, I don't do the how-tos. I wrote what I learned after, or how right? I built a $5 million net worth, right? I bought 90 units of real estate. I'm not going to tell you how I would buy 90 units of real estate. I already bought 90 units of real estate, right? It comes from a different place. Like, theoretically, anybody could like go on Google and find out how to buy 90 units of real estate, how to operate real estate. No, like I want to learn from somebody who's doing it. If I want to own 500 units, I want to learn from somebody who owns 500 units. If I want to learn how to operate apartment complexes, I want to learn from somebody who's actually operating apartment complexes. If I want to learn how to do a direct mail campaign, I want to learn from somebody who's doing direct mail and has had success from direct mail. It's just like taking workout advice from somebody who has no muscle, right? Or taking dieting advice from someone who's very obese. It doesn't make sense, right? Like, where's the track record? Where's the proof, right? It's just kind of like the armchair quarterback. No, I want to learn someone who's actually doing it. So you really have to be careful, and it's hard, right? That's why for me, I'm fully transparent. Like, I don't edit these videos. I don't script. I just speak from whatever I do. Like, I'm talking from personal experience. When I tell you this is the real estate market, this is from my personal experience, right? Like, I'm not telling you how to do it. I'm just sharing what I learned, and hopefully that provides value to you. And that's why people like my content. I'm very transparent, very real. Like, I own 51 units of real estate. I still work at the full-time W-2, right? I'm not going to sell you the dream of like early retirement. I could potentially be retired, but it doesn't make sense right now, right? Because my real estate hasn't had the time to stabilize and fully marinate. I want to. And I'd be stressed, to be honest, if I had to live off my real estate income right now, right? So I'll continue to work, continue to build up more wealth, and I've learned to juggle both, right? So that's more realistic. Like, can I teach you how to build a medium-sized real estate portfolio while working full-time? Yes, I can, because I've done it, right? Without partners. And I use my own money. I didn't even raise money, right? So, and I do it mostly out of state. So you really have to make sure that they actually do what they preach, right? So, you know, if you kind of go through all that, and just know too, like, do you like this person too, right? Like, are they actually available to talk to? Can you get a hold of them? Like, for me, most of my students have direct contact with me. Like, you know, the courses, it's just to get you the baseline knowledge, right? The point of my courses is to get the baseline knowledge, and I have a lot of, I think, over 100 videos. That's to get the baseline knowledge, but the key is really to get you to take action and, you know, send out your letters, start talking to owners and negotiating, making offers, and then hopping on the one-on-one private coaching calls, right? That's why people pay me. It's not, the information is out there for free, right? But it's really the nuance of negotiations, the nuance of crafting offers, the nuance of what's the next step. Because when you're emotional, you know what to do, right? Like, even though my students take all the courses, they know what I know, you know, they get too emotional because they're so invested in the deal, and they need someone who is impartial and objective to give them advice, right? Like, I talked about one of my coaching calls with my students. Like, he knows what I know, but he got a little bit emotional. He got help on one thing, and my job as the coach and mentor is to remove those barriers so he can take the next step, right? And help him, guide him with the next step. So that's it, right? Like, so if you like talking to this person, they're available, then work with that person, right? It's plain and simple. And, you know, you'll work with some people you don't like, or people you do like, but, you know, if you get that one person, and let's say you spend $5,000 in a course coaching program, and you buy your first apartment complex, you'll make more than $5,000, right? Like, for me, I spent $15,000 for my mentorship, and on my first deal, you know, right out the gate, I made $200,000 of equity day one because I bought the deal under market value, right? That's a 10x return on my money, at least. Like, would you take a 10x return? I think you would. So, you know, if not, then you got burned and you learn, right? So you either earn or you learn, right? So hopefully this gives you context into how to weed out those who, you know, those fake gurus, or those who aren't doing what they preach. And hopefully this gives you some context on how to do that. You know, let me know if you have any questions, comments down below. Like I said, I've weed out a lot of gurus. I've been in a mentorship, and I currently own a mentorship. So I feel like I'm pretty well versed in identifying fake gurus, and I'm trying to do the complete opposite of that. Because for me, I'm looking at the long-term picture where I want my students to be successful so that they're referring other people to me, or maybe down the road we're doing deals together, right? I want to train people who think like me and take action like me so that I can build a network of those where I can invest in deals together. In case I get bigger deals I can't take down myself, right? That's the ultimate goal for me, is I'm going to teach you, you're going to get deals, and then maybe down the road we'll collaborate, or maybe you'll bring me a deal, right? Or maybe you'll be a partner with me on a deal. So, you know, hopefully this gave you some context. Great question. Thanks to that person who asked the question. I thought it was a great topic. Let me know if you have any other topics you want me to discuss, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Have a good one.